This boot, no one seems to be talking about, and I don't know why. Because I've had it now since April and have traversed over 150 miles with it at this point, most of those with a load on my back. And it has proved itself to not only be durable, but also have the grip, flexibility, and breathability that is rarely found in modern boots. And having been the vehicle that helped me traverse over 31 miles with 35 pounds on my back through the Wyoming wilderness recently on a backpacking trip, this odd duck of a boot has really proven itself. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another gear review here at the channel. I'm Aaron, this is Gideonstactical, and the boots that we're looking at today are the Danner FULLBORE 4.5-inch breathable tactical boots. Now, usually when I hear the word tactical, I immediately roll my eyes when it comes to boots, and it means clunky, heavy, not flexible. And what's funny is that those do not describe these boots in any way, shape, or form. In fact, they're the complete opposite. And so I'm really looking forward to unpacking what these boots bring to the table, how do they stack up maybe to a few other options, and be able to explain what you need to be looking for, regardless if it's these boots or any other, when you are considering some form of footwear for your outdoor adventures. So let's go ahead, dive on in, and have some fun.
Now, right out of the gate, the two things that stand out for me with these boots are not only their fit and feel, but also their lack of waterproof option and breathability. So many boots out there are waterproof, and yes, they say breathable, and on some level they are, but what ends up happening is, especially in the midsummer months, right now, blazing sun, it's 90 degrees out. We're on the trail, dry as a bone. You're not gonna wanna wear these type of boots. I chose to wear these today. Now, yeah, it's a little bit warmer than if I was wearing trail runners and this type of hike. I could have just done trail runners and it'd be fine. But if you either prefer boots or you're doing different things, you know boots are essential to multiple tasks, being able to wear them and have the choice between getting them in waterproof, if that's something you need, or not, and I opted for the not, just means that they're just way more comfortable in hotter temperatures, and therefore you're gonna wear them more frequently. You're gonna get more out of these boots than, say, some sort of really, Gore-Tex, blah, 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 whatever, waterproof boot, where that in the middle of the summer when it's super hot, you're not gonna wanna wear those things. Now, separate from that is the fit. They are leather, suede, and mesh, and those two things coming together make them feel way more kind of like high top running shoes or basketball shoes kind of than big, clunky, mountaineering boots that weigh a ton. I mean, it feels like a pair of sneakers. I mean, that's really what I feel like I'm wearing right now. And they are flexible, they give some, they still have good support, better than a trail runner for sure, but not as much, of course, as like a leather reinforced, full-bodied, mountaineering boot. So they're that kind of blend, but I really like that because it means that I, again, will want to wear them more frequently than big, clunky, non-flexible. I mean, these are like, you put them on, there is zero break-in time, zero. I'm talking like 5 minutes and you're like, yep, these feel fantastic. And they have now for, I want to say 4 months. I can't remember, but I've gone over 100 miles in them. So, I mean, you add all that together and we'll highlight some of the other features, but I mean, those two characteristics alone, to me, and I have tons of boots, these are definitely setting themselves apart from most of those other boots for those two main reasons.
Now, anytime I do a footwear video, I always get questions about like, what type of feet do you have? I have the most generic foot ever. So I wear 11.5s in almost everything. That's what I ordered. This fit perfectly. I believe you can get wides. I don't have a narrow foot. I don't have a wide foot. I don't have a high arch. I don't have a low arch. I mean, it's like generic as they come, and this absolutely contours to my foot and is true to size for what I look for in this style of footwear.
Now, I want to unpack foot fatigue and grip. So let's hit the grip first. It's using Vibranium. No, Vibram. I actually, more times I can count, say Vibranium over Vibram soles. Vibram, super well known, right? I mean, if a sole has Vibram, you know it's going to do well. And Danner has always done well with these types of soles. They're similar to what you're gonna have on the tread pattern for like the iconic 600 series and many, many other types of boots. And so those have always worked well for me in multiple environments. Today, you know, we're on like a soft sandy trail, you know, on super, you know, not granite, but rock, like just rocky, you know, trails, and then also snow covered environments as well. I've always had really good experience with the grip, but leave a comment on these type of patterns that I'm running in. Do those work well for you? And now with over 100 miles plus on mine, almost no signs of wear, you know, durability is there. Now these are not resolable. Many Danner boots are, but these do not fall into that category. So whenever the soles do finally wear out, you will just need to replace the boot at that point.
Now, if I had one complaint, it would be that since these are tactical boots, you do not get currently any choices in color. If you want breathable, you got to get coyote tan. If you want waterproof, you got to get black. That's it. There's no other options. There's no other little color patterns and things like that. And I think these have a lot more to offer than just being pigeonholed into a tactical boot, being proved through all the terrain and all the different hiking and backpacking and camping that I've been doing, as well as just kicking it around town. And so I have seen that maybe they're coming out with a few other color patterns at some point. I think that would be good. And I'll be curious to see long term where they go with this boot.
What's Mrs. GT doing back there? I feel like she's creeping on me. She's gonna do something I'm gonna regret. Oh no. Okay, so then the other part is the nylon shank. Okay, here's the deal. This is my personal experience. Your mileage may vary. I want to know what you guys think. I have had 2 lightweight boots that did not come with some form of a shank that is like a polymer. Old school would have been metal. So I'm sure there are still some out there that do that. Like bed basically between the sole and the inner part of the boot or shoe, giving you some sort of impact resistance, especially on harder terrain. Again, on like the sandy trail we're doing today, you wouldn't need a shank. But what I have found is for the first about 5 miles, especially if I had any type of load on my back, it's fine, you don't really notice it. But if you are in rocky terrain in any way, shape, or form, like I am here out west in the Rocky Mountains and other Wind River range, snowy range that I hike in regularly, after 5 miles, it sucks. It really starts to fatigue your feet. Your feet get sore because you're feeling all the impacts of all of the terrain. Does that mean that you get to grip on maybe a little bit better? Yes. But I have found through experience, if I had a choice, I would rather have the shank giving me resistance to those harder impacts in the type of terrain that I hike in versus not. So depending on your environment, if you live in an area that's really soft and really sand and soft ground all the time, maybe a shank is not necessary. I'm glad this has an nylon shank. I can tell the difference, and it definitely mitigates a lot of foot fatigue with loads on harder terrain.
Now let's talk pricing and where you can pick these up. These will be MSRP'd at $189, so just under 200 bucks, which is actually a little bit cheaper than a lot of Danner boots out there. You know, they share a lot of the same DNA with the 600 series, my 600s that are awesome, and I'm going to be doing a video on that. Those run like $220 on average, so you can save a little bit if you go with these full bore breathable options. And then I got these through one of our regular sponsors, which is LA Police Gear, and I'm sending 10% off promo code with them, so that'll be included in the description box below. So it brings it down to like 170, ballpark for these full bore. Now obviously that's top tier for a lot of these type of boots, but it's giving you, like I've stated, like a blending that, say, a pair of Merrell Moabs. I have Merrell Moabs. They're great introductory boots. Would totally recommend them to tons of people. They're kind of like the SE6 of boots. But these full bores are definitely doing something that those Moabs can't do with their flexibility, but still having the shank. And my feet ache after, a backpacking trip with a set of, say, Moabs, where they don't with these Danners. So yes, there's this pedigree of making boots since the 1930s, and you're paying for the name potentially, but Danner, I feel, regardless of those 600s, my Logger 917s, and now these full bore, bring performance along with that like pedigree. so that you're getting the best of both. So if you are curious, those will all be included. The links and promo code will all be included in the description box below. Well, guys, there you have it. I hope that this video has been fun and entertaining, but also informed you about a pair of boots that just I feel like has totally flown on the radar, that is really threading the needle and fitting a niche that I look for in my footwear, and is able to do something that my big clunky mountaineering boots can't quite do, but also that like trail runners and ultra lightweight shankless boots can't do either. It really feeds that well. That's me, that's my mileage. If you own one of these FULLBOREs, let me know how they've been performing for you. Always appreciate that. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. And until next time, always remember to stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.